What's up, welders? Welcome to another episode of Adventures in Welding. As you should know by now, I'm Paul, and you're you, and you came to hang out with me in my shop. Cool deal. Well, today we don't have any projects to work on. Today we're just going to do a little bit of practice. We're going to start off with some autogenous welds, then we're going to put some filler in. Basically what we're looking to do here is to make nice straight welds with a bead of an even width. That's it. That is the basics. That is the building block of everything else you'll learn in TIG welding. Nice, consistent beads. So we got everything started off by doing the 7 P's. You know the 7 P's are? Proper previous planning prevents piss poor performance. We cut our metal, we cleaned our metal, we ground a new tip on the torch, we wiped off all our fillers. Everything's clean, everything's prepped. We're using the Eastwood TIG 200. We're using a number 9 torch with a stubby gas lens with a number 8 cup, a 1/16 inch, 2% thoriated tungsten. And I'm using that Superflex cable from CK that I got from George's Plasma Cutter shop in Delaware. If you're interested, check him out. He's got really good prices. So, like I said, we're going to start out with autogenous welds. That means no filler. We're going to fill up this entire plate doing just autogenous welds, looking for straight lines and an even thickness. That being said, let's get started. Alright, let me bring you in and we'll take a closer look. Alright, we've got a width of about 3/16, pretty consistent. A little bit of hand jogging here and there, but that's why we practice. Alright, let's hit it again. Alright, again, not too bad. The width is even. A little bit of hand movement in there. And if you're wondering, how do we keep the width even? Well, there's 2 factors. That is a consistent arc length and a consistent travel speed. I try not to vary my travel speed, and if I'm having a problem where I'm melting through or I'm not getting enough penetration, I like to compensate with that for the pedal and keep my travel speed even as I possibly can. Alright, let's give this a quench and we'll move on. Alright guys, you can see where we started out down here. And we moved up, I don't know if you can see how well right there. There's a little porosity in there, and that is caused by arc length. My arc length gets a little bit too long. Then you lose some of your argon coverage, and you wind up with problems like that. And that's why we practice. Alright, next we are going to move on to the same thing with a new plate and filler metal. Alright, now on to the filler portion of our TIG practice. What I got here is just some alcohol impregnated wipes. Remember the 7 P's. Proper previous planning prevents piss poor performance. Wipe down everything when you're TIG welding. I mean, those are broads right out of the packet, see? Crud. Crud. Alright. Nothing has changed in the machine setup. We'll be using 1/16 ER70 S2 filler rods. Same torch, same tungsten, same settings. Let me get my gear on and we'll get into this, and I'll get you some arc shots, okay? Alright, we're lighting off on our second bead here, and if you look at that angle I have the torch, that is probably way too steep. But on the other hand, you've got to be able to see the puddle to see what you're doing. This is pretty thin material, about 20 gauge. So we're running here somewhere in the 15 to 20 amp area. So we're just kind of on the ragged edge, the low edge of the machine. And I'm dipping at a pretty regular pace. That's really all you've got to do. When you get to the end, add a little bit, taper off. Alright, here we go with our third bead. Third verse, same as the first, a little bit louder, a little bit worse. Now I've got a better torch angle here, and we're just keeping our consistent dips. As we move along, you just want to watch the puddle swell, dip, move. Alright, just so you don't think I'm going to sit here and make you watch me do this all night, we're going to make it a little bit more interesting. But come on in closer and let's take a look at what we got. Alright, you can see our welds here standing nice and proud of the surface. Got a little too hot there. See how that one's a little bit flatter than the others? And then over here I added more filler metal to make that one stand up a bit more. And if we flip it over, you can see these are all full penetration welds. But let's put this in some other interesting positions to make it a little bit more challenging to practice. When you're out of position like that, it makes things more difficult to keep everything square and steady. Alright guys, that's just it for this little quick episode on practicing your TIG welding. This is some pretty thin stuff we worked on here, and you can see the distortion. Always keep that in mind. With this, I had the pedal set at a maximum of 30 amps. We were probably welding at 15 to 20. The Eastwood TIG 200 can drop down pretty low. Not low enough to weld a pop can, but pretty low. Number 9 torch, also available from Eastwood, very nice. The Superflex hose and the stubby gas lens kit, available from George's Plasma Cutter Shop.com. That's it. Get the hell out of my shop.